This is News 6 Tonight.
10 until 4.
Oh my goodness. Hello, everyone, and welcome to News 6 Tonight. We are so glad that you have spent some time with us. Hopefully, you've been with us on this journey all week long, but it's Friday, but that doesn't mean the news stops. I'm Ginger Gadsden alongside community correspondent Catherine Silver. Matt is off tonight, and Catherine, this is your second go round.
This is
Thank
the
you for
second
coming back.
time. We'll say the second time's the charm.
Yeah.
I came back, and a lot happened this week, so I feel like we have a lot to talk about
We
tonight,
do
Ginger.
have a lot to talk about, so we want to get right to it. And it's a story around this time, a little later. Last night, we started talking about a story on the 10 o'clock newscast, and it was our lead at 11 last night, and we knew it was going to have some legs throughout the day. It was okay. A judge ordered Alligator Alcatraz closed. Everything must stop. Is that where you're going, Chris? Yes. Okay. Why are you looking at you? Say the words. No. It's Chris.
He's getting ahead of himself. Yeah, some behind the scenes
I
help
make
here.
him nervous. I make him nervous. Last night, after the show was over, we got a news alert that a federal judge issued an 82-page ruling that all the construction, everything at Alligator Alcatraz had to stop, and it has to stop within about 60 days. And when we did that story last night, I said, well, I know what we're going to be talking about all day tomorrow, because if you know our governor, he's going to have something to say about that. And sure enough, the state is already filing its paperwork and going to fight back. They say that they are not backing down. Let's listen to a little bit to what the governor had to say today, and someone who is a member of Friends of the Everglades.
This was not something that was unexpected. This is a judge that was not going to give us a fair shake. This was preordained.
It is impossible to imagine that a massive, expensive, harmful immigrant detention center in the middle of the Everglades is the best course of action.
Okay, so that was the response today. And the person, you saw Governor Ron DeSantis, and the woman that you just saw in that story is a executive director of Friends of the Everglades. And their contention is that so many things were not taken into consideration before they just went ahead and started constructing and doing this. And they also say it causes harm to the environment and also the detainees. There are allegations that they aren't being treated humanely. They aren't allowed to see lawyers. These are just allegations. We haven't independently confirmed any of this information, but it has been one of those stories that every time something new happens, we have to cover it because it's in Florida and it's a pretty big deal.
Of course, and we know everyone else is talking about this as well. And it's like you said, how you knew you're going to be talking about this again today. I have a feeling more is to come because both sides are not backing down, right?
Exactly. And, and we have to see, they had already had a work stoppage. They said that, okay, you can't build anything. So last night was a big surprise when this 82-page ruling came down saying, not only can you not build anything, you have to take the things that you've already built, all of the infrastructure that you've put into place, that all has to be removed and torn down because it could be harmful to the environment. And you have 60 days to complete this. And the governor is saying there's no harm to the environment. A lot of people are saying there's no harm. And we have to remind people that when Governor DeSantis was reelected, this was the number one issue. They wanted him to take care of the border. They wanted him to take care of immigration. And with Alligator Alcatraz, he says that is what he has done for the people of Florida.
And with that 60 days, I would expect the state would probably ask for a stay, right? They're going to not want that to take effect while they're fighting this. So preliminary injunction, keyword being preliminary.
Yeah, exactly. There is a lot still happening with that. And of course, we're going to continue to follow that story. The other story that Chris thought I was going to talk about, that we're going to talk about right now.
This is another big one.
It really is huge because the nation was just devastated when this story happened. And I was here in 2016 when the Pulse nightclub massacre happened, right? And that's something that you never forget because at the time it happened, Catherine, it was the worst mass shooting in the country. We sadly, of course, have been eclipsed by others that have happened since then. But it has just been something that people in this community will never forget. And one of the things that they use to honor the people who lost their lives is a crosswalk. a rainbow crosswalk that was right near where Pulse is, right in front of Pulse. And it broke so many people's hearts when yesterday we were reporting in the middle of the night, we said that it was just torn up and not torn up, but painted over. Painted over. But for some people, it may as well have just been torn up because it really left a hole in their hearts. Let's listen to a little bit of what the story is. And Mike Valenti, our community correspondent, has been covering this story and doing a phenomenal job. Let's listen to a little bit of the back and forth here.
It's Florida, so it's no surprise that the rain is going to wash away the chalk that people use to cover this crosswalk. But the people who came here Friday told me that's no problem. There's plenty of chalk left.
I will come out here every day and do it over and over again. I don't care.
The city of Orlando received no warning from FDOT that the crosswalk would be removed. But afterwards, at about 7 o'clock Thursday night, the city did receive this letter listing nearly 20, quote, non-compliant locations. The Rainbow Crosswalk on Orange Avenue and West Esther Street is not on this list. Meanwhile, we found other crosswalks with designs still there, including one just a block away, and these checkered crosswalks next to the Daytona International Speedway. So far, the state has not said if the other crosswalks, including the checkers in Daytona, will be removed as well. I'm your Orlando community correspondent, Mike Valenti.
And I hope people at home caught that because Mike said on that list, a lot of crosswalks, but the one they painted over in front of Pulse was not on that list. And that's the thing that people could not understand. Why would they want that one in particular to be removed? There's not a full-time or a permanent memorial yet. And a lot of people were hoping that, okay, maybe once the memorial is up, it's fine, do whatever you want. But now we have something to remember them. But taking that away seemed to have, a lot of people feel it's an insult to the people who lost their lives there. And it's not a political thing, according to them. They just want to make sure that people never forget such a tragedy happened.
And the list is interesting as we see new developments in this today because there's been a lot of emotion about what happened. I had people texting me who lived in other states asking about this story when it broke yesterday. Now that we have that list, we have that letter. I believe we also have some new video from the city tonight. We have actual records now that we can actually dive into this more and see what happened.
Oh my gosh, because Mike Valenti and all of the community correspondents are such dogged reporters, he filed another public records request, right? So we were able to get the actual video of the side. There it is. And we kept saying, oh, it happened overnight or pre-dawn. This is about 11:25 at night. And before midnight, FDOT crews were done.
So it happened quickly.
It happened really
Under an
fast.
hour.
And you can't even be mad at these guys because they're just doing what they were told.
They're
They're
doing
doing
their
their jobs. Yeah, exactly. But now that you see it and you have it and you know exactly when it happened and how quickly it's just how quickly something that's important to a community seemingly was just erased. And a lot of people have respect for the others who, in the rain, even knowing it was going to rain in Florida, just took their chalk and started to color it in again.
And they say they're going to do it every day.
Yeah,
if they have
it means
to.
it means a lot to people. And next year is the 10th year of Pulse, and so there will be a lot more remembrances and people coming to town, and you'll see a lot of people just really devastated by what happened there. Another story that we will continue to follow. All right,
Let's switch
Catherine.
to Sanford.
Yeah, let's.
My community.
Your hometown. I love that you're our community correspondent in Seminole County because you know the ins and outs, and you've been following, assessment fees for different communities for a long time, and we seem to have seen a trend. And now you're talking about your community.
Yes, we've been talking about growing pains.
Yeah.
Growing costs, and we've been talking a lot about these fire assessments. Winter Garden said no, Kissimmee said yes. In Sanford, we've been following this since June. They're getting ready for a final vote coming up in September. But what just recently happened is the city sent out letters to everyone. And I spoke to the mayor today, and he said when these actual letters came out, more people paid attention because then you couldn't ignore it, even if you didn't watch News 6.
You have a letter
Now
now.
you have a letter that comes in the mailbox that actually says this is what we're going to do. But people read those letters. It's so much language that they're like, what does it mean? And all anyone wants to know is, what am I paying? What is this
What's
going
it going
to
to
cost
cost me?
me? So that letter will say exactly what your total annual assessment will be the first year. You can find it on the second page. It's the second paragraph under this table with facts and figures. I spoke with the mayor today. He reiterates they're planning on using the money that they make from this to fund fire services, specifically equipment costs, engines cost money, and all of this is phasing out. They
Yeah.
need to generate funds. I spoke with the mayor. I believe we have a clip we can show
Okay, let's
where
show it
he
now.
explains a little bit.
How much am I going to have to pay individually?
Right, and buried down on like the second or third page is how much that person will pay.
So in this
So
example,
unfortunately, this one, the example is 7651.
is there a chance this could go up in other years?
Yeah, and if you look at the chart, the maximum that we can charge is the $39.70 per parcel plus the $1.50 per 5,000. So which is about a 12.5% total increase, unless we do a new study and start all over.
There has been some public pushback. We hear
yes.
families are stretched thin. You've got seniors on fixed income. Is there another option?
Well, one option is to not do it, which puts us really more in the next year, future years, at risk with keeping up with equipment for our fire department or other costs. Fire engine costs a little over $1 million. We took that out of the budget this year to balance the budget.
Are we at the breaking point or getting close to the breaking point where we either have to find a way to generate more funds or start to lose services?
I think by next year, we would have to either raise the tax rate, which we do not want to do, or start cutting services.
Oh, Catherine,
There's a lot to unpack there.
I had no idea that that's how much those fire engines cost.
Yeah, everything is costing
It's a
more. I mean, we
lot.
say it all the time.
Yeah.
And the cities and governments, the counties, they're saying it too.
And
It's
now
not
that you're,
just us
yeah, and
that are
when,
feeling the effects.
when you hear those hard numbers, those are real numbers. Those aren't numbers that are just being thrown around willy-nilly. It's like, well, maybe this, maybe that. When you hear him say $1 million for that, and they took it out of the budget.
Right, this year. So it doesn't just go away. So that's why they're looking at this way to generate these funds so that they have that money. And it is interesting because I was asking him, the average homeowner we had heard before would pay about $85. And he actually shared some numbers on his social media page of what different brackets would be. There's about 16,000 properties that are going to be assessed at that $100 or less. 6,000 between $100 and $1,000. Only 100 are going to pay over $1,000, and then 29 properties will pay more than $5,000. The highest bill, he said, was about $19,000, and that's for an apartment complex. And when
Okay.
I spoke with him today, he said a lot of those bigger bills are those apartment complexes that are owned or managed by people that aren't even in
And those,
Sanford.
yeah, and that's, you know what, and that is why you're there to break all of this down for us and just make it make sense. Because when you talk about the bottom line, dollars and cents. Oh, Sue says good evening, Ginger.
Hi,
and Catherine.
Sue.
She's in Nova Scotia. Hello,
Wow.
Sue.
Hello
Good
from
to
a
see-
long ways away.
Exactly. Thank you for watching. We hope that you're enjoying the program because honestly, and I don't mean to sing your praises, I sing the praises of all the community correspondents, but when we see you out there questioning the mayor, getting answers from the mayor, I mean, you have boots on the ground and you are in that community every day. And that's why it's so important because it's not just stories that make the front page sometimes. Sometimes it's stories that it's about your wallet. It's about the money that you spend. And these are the stories that matter to people and in the community. So
Right.
great job and good one-on-one with the mayor. I learned a lot in that story. Like I will never
was
look at a
something
fire
to
engine the
look
same way
for.
again when I see them go down the
That's your
street.
takeaway.
Yeah, he said, well, I mean, besides that, you see them all the time. I did not know they were that expensive. I knew they weren't cheap, but I didn't know they were that expensive. Okay, we still have a lot more to come on News 6 tonight, including one of our favorite sheriffs in town. Normally, we'd be talking about Sheriff Mike Chitwood in Volusia County, but we
There's another
also,
one that comes to mind.
there's another one that comes to mind. He's in the Tampa area. He's in Polk County, actually. It's Grady Judd. You won't believe what this guy did at a news conference when he was talking about getting drug dealers off the street. We're going to show you what he was wearing and why he was wearing it after the break.
Welcome to News 6 Tonight. We are so thankful that you're joining us here wherever you found us.
Yeah, you know what this tells me? If you have made this your new streaming destination, it tells me you're smart. Also good looking because you chose to watch the news in a different way. That makes you really smart. anybody can give you the news from a teleprompter or an old newspaper. We do it in a fresh new way.
That's right. So check us out wherever you like to stream. We have this app for your TV, News 6 Plus. You can find it on Roku and Amazon and whatever your smart TV is cooking. So thank you. We would love to hear your comments down
Oh my
below.
gosh. Yeah.
And then we'll show them.
Yeah, we will. News 6 Plus. The plus is you.
Ooh.
Mhm. Hey, welcome back to News 6 Tonight, everyone. I am here with Catherine Silver, one of our community correspondents here at
Hello.
News 6. Thank you so much for joining us, Catherine, and thank you for joining us tonight. We left you on the other side of the break talking about one of our more colorful sheriffs in town.
That's a good word.
Whenever Grady Judd calls a news conference, you are not going to be disappointed. And today, the same thing happened.
Usually, you're not going to be disappointed in what he says. Today, it's also about what he's wearing.
What he's wearing. Oh my goodness. Okay, so first of all, it's a serious story because he's talking about getting 32 people off the street, and these people are supposedly drug traffickers in Polk County. He's big about getting drug dealers and people like that off the streets. And he says that the arrest this morning revealed a part of Operation Capital City Crackdown. It was a year-long investigation where they talked about dealing illegal drugs. And the sheriff says this is a story that he really cares about because a 65-year-old woman ended up being killed by one of the suspects here. So listen to what he had to say and pay particular close attention to what he's wearing while he's saying it.
People continue to tell you that drugs are low level and nonviolent. They're anything but low level and nonviolent. Where you see $50,000 in drip, where you see, that not so dangerous drug of cannabis, you see guns.
Yeah, you see guns, you see the 32 people who were arrested, and you notice that big chain or drip around Judd's neck. That is apparently the chain. It belonged to one of the suspects leading the drug ring in that community. So he's trying to make a point, and it does get your attention when you think about it, because you think, we're just talking about some low-level crime, but he's saying it has real-world consequences and people end up dead. You think it's not just drug dealing. These are lives at stake.
And that's what he wanted to get across. He said, I'm doing all of this because I keep hearing these are just low-level offenses.
Yeah.
And he also pointed out that those 32 suspects, they all had a long criminal history. When you combine previous offenses, I think he even said at one point, if these people aren't in jail, they're dealing drugs on the street.
And that's,
Bartow.
and he has made it like one of his life's mission to get the streets of Polk County cleaned up from drug dealers so people like that 65-year-old woman are not killed.
Well, speaking of drugs, in a way, we can pivot.
Story? Yes, let's pivot to the next story. I love this story
This
so much.
one is a talker as well. So it was also in that Tampa area.
Yeah.
We had a drone that crashed in the middle of the night.
Yeah, drones are very popular, Catherine.
Yes, it was a late night delivery of sorts.
Pizza,
We
maybe?
could call it. Yes, the sheriff said it was a late night drug delivery. So apparently this suspect was using this drone to deliver drugs. It ended up crashing in a family's backyard, and what does he do? He ends up calling law enforcement to try to help
I mean, that's what you
retrieve
do when your drugs crash in a drone. I think we
Yeah,
have body cam video
that
of
we
what it
can
actually
show.
looked
Yeah,
like.
because
Yeah.
they did respond.
It just
So yeah, that shows him talking and saying it was in the backyard over here. I guess he had knocked on the door. And then it looks like
here's
the
the
deputy is
evidence.
going through. So yeah, 4 bags of drugs. They said there was fentanyl, there was methamphetamine, and they also said that he was holding the drone controller when deputies arrived. They think the delivery was going to 4 different people based on what they saw on the baggies. But the interesting thing is they still are trying to track down exactly where that drone was going because drones have GPS. So that's something they're also working on
Oh,
as
I know
well.
they are. I
The
know
sheriff's
they are.
office called it creative but reckless.
It's a lot of things. It's very Florida, and it's entertaining, but also something that could end dangerously. All right, we're going to pivot now. This is a big pivot because we want to bring in meteorologist Jonathan Kagas. It is a big weekend. People are out at Daytona. They're hoping the rain doesn't wash away their race plans, Jonathan.
Yeah, okay, so I don't think it's going to.
Okay, good.
I think the race is going to be okay. However, infield in the morning and the afternoon might not be the best. I think that's we're going to be looking at if you have plans on the early side of the day, that's where you're going to have to watch for those storms. Just like today, take today, copy and paste it
Mhm.
all the way through Monday.
Oh,
And I
gosh.
think that's kind of what we get. Yeah,
Okay.
kind of this soupy, at times gray, these rounds of rain coming through. So yeah, that's going to be the pattern. We have this thing stalled out across North Florida, and that's just going to keep on sending stuff away. It's not the best drone flying weather.
Don't get
See what
any
you did
ideas.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, not to wouldn't send anything up
Oh my gosh.
for your delivery.
Why are we like this,
There-
Jonathan? Why?
I don't know. I don't know, but I mean, Walmart's doing it. I guess Amazon's aren't they trying to do it? So I guess-
Legitimately.
Yeah.
legitimately,
key
yeah. I don't
word.
think you can order that stuff on Prime.
Correct.
At least as far as I'm concerned anyway. But there you go. That's going to be Saturday
Oof.
afternoon right there. And just that steady stream of moisture coming in from the Gulf. That pattern finally breaks down as we get into Tuesday. I mean, it'll be a little cooler anyway. It'll keep temperatures around 90 versus the mid 90s. So we'll take what we can get.
Yeah, I mean, I think for fans, it'll be fine because it's not blistering hot, but it's not
Right.
the ideal race conditions for the cars because, it's not
Yeah.
going to stick to the track. But, we'll,
Take some
we'll
time
see.
to dry that thing.
Yeah,
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 you're
yeah,
right.
it does. All right. So it's not a complete washout. Go out and enjoy yourself. If you have plans to be out there already, just
That's
do
right.
it.
I
Yeah,
don't
just
think
plan.
they would let
Just do it.
the rain ruin their plans
They're not even
anyway.
going to
They're
know it's raining.
committed
I
to
know.
this.
I
They want to
No way.
go.
Yeah, NASCAR fans are hardcore. All right, thank you, Jonathan. All right, when we come back, when you pay for a window seat or extra leg room, you expect to get that on an airplane. Some customers say they haven't been getting it. We'll talk about it on the other side of the break.
Welcome to News 6 Tonight. We are so thankful that you're joining us here wherever you found us.
Yeah, you know what this tells me? If you have made this your new streaming destination, it tells me you're smart, also good looking, because you chose to watch the news in a different way. That makes you really smart. Anybody can give you the news from a teleprompter or an old newspaper. We do it in a fresh new way.
That's right. So check us out wherever you like to stream. We have this app for your TV, News 6 Plus. You can find it on Roku and Amazon and whatever your smart TV is cooking. So thank you. We would love to hear your comments down
Oh my
below.
gosh. Yeah.
And then we'll show them.
Yeah, we will. News 6 Plus. The plus is you.
Ooh.
All right, welcome back to News 6 Tonight. This is our last segment and our last show for the week. We really hope you're enjoying it. Thanks to those of you who have been commenting. My back is kind of turned to the monitor sometimes, so I can't see all the comments. Yeah, so if you see something, look. Oh, Demetria Williams, you guys are out of this world. Rocket. Is there a lift?
We've gone from Nova Scotia to space.
I don't mind. I love space stories. Okay, and that is a good evening from North Carolina.
Hi.
We're worldwide now, guys. We're really popular.
We need some Florida shout outs.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's hear it. Okay, we got to get to this story. There is a lawsuit now, a multi-million-dollar lawsuit, and it has been brought about by some customers who say they paid for a window seat. And when they get on the plane, they're sitting next to a wall. And the two airlines involved in this are Delta and United. Delta charges up to $70 for window seats, and United charges about $50 for a window seat. And they say because of just the reconfiguration of some planes, like the air conditioning units and other components, things aren't lined up like they used to be. So a window seat is now nothing.
Right.
But you paid $70.
I know.
So I want a window seat.
Well, they say, it's manufacturing. It's on this certain model of a Boeing that they put the air conditioning duct in this place. So if you're in this seat on this row, you might. But of course, the customers that wanted the window said it was labeled a window, paid for the window, expected the window.
Yeah.
You show up and there's a wall.
Yeah. I learned that you're an aisle girl, though. You're an aisle girl. And so is Chris.
Nice
Chris
lie.
Seltzer is an aisle guy. I love a window, but I also asked a question because you sit in the aisle. Do you pop up instantly when it goes ding, when it pulls up to the gate? Because those people
And
drive me bonkers.
I defended myself and I said, I am not one of those people. Don't come for me.
That is the right answer. Even if you are, that is still the right answer. Oh my gosh.
I also don't clap when we land, if that helps.
I kind of do. I'm a clapper. Okay. That's going to do it for us right now. There's